There he is. Hey everybody, how we doing? Meow, meow. That's how it always starts, right? Me talking to the cat. I'm convinced he knows that we do live streams on Sundays because when I get up in the morning on Sunday morning, he's basically following me all over the house. What accent would that cat have if he could speak? I would say it would probably be something like Catatonian. Yeah, that's right, people. I'm here all week. Hello, Connie. Hi, JC. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, it would be kind of sort of catastrophic, wouldn't it? Rest of the time, he's kind of catatonic. My mom's all right. They're getting more rain in California right now. I guess it was raining yesterday. It's little bit of rain today. I don't think it's going to be quite what it was yesterday. She keeps saying she's glad she's on a hill and on the top floor. Yeah, yeah. It was cold here basically Monday through Thursday. It kind of broke a little bit on Thursday, but by breaking, it means it rose above freezing and we get up to a whopping 35 or 36 degrees. But actually, it's supposed to be in the low 70s today. And it was actually nice out yesterday, nicer day, but we got rain coming again maybe on Tuesday. So we'll see what happens. You like the video of the farmers market? I've wanted to go to that place for a couple of years now. And like I said, I work on Saturdays, so it doesn't usually work. It's funny, I was off yesterday and doing something else, and it was like just a couple blocks from the farmers market. And I halfway thought about stopping by again, but I didn't. Yeah, I would agree. Summer's probably a better time than January to be going for fresh produce. But you know, I get the days off when I get the days off. There were a few like herbs and things like that, but and so some kale and stuff like that. But I'm guessing a lot of that was probably grown in a greenhouse or hydroponics or something like that because I don't think you do very well even with kale outside. Actually, it was the day after I shot that we got hit the deep freeze. So Yeah, 50 is probably about right. It was a fun little thing. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna probably do one at some point. I don't know. A greenhouse would be kind of fun. Maybe it'd be a way to save some of my plants when we get these deep freezes. It's sort of just in the wishful thinking phase right now, so it probably won't happen anytime soon. But I kind of got to figure out the thing, design it in my head first, so I kind of know what it looks like. And I've got just kind of basic things right now. One of the things I'd have to deal with a greenhouse is dealing with the temperature because I mean it gets hot enough here in the summer as it is, but have to figure out a way to keep it cool when it's like 100 degrees out because it'll be 130 in the greenhouse under those conditions. So have to figure out some way maybe to open up the sides to let air in and yet still be able to close it when it gets too hot or gets too cold. Actually, it's not been long hours this past week because it's just 8-hour days. But going into this week, I'm still off Monday, Tuesday, and going back on Wednesday, and we'll be back on 8-hour or on 12-hour days then. Where would I put it? Probably right there where the garden currently is. Probably just enclose that whole garden in or in the greenhouse. Have to move everything up off the ground too. Assuming you're asking if I'd be interested in moving the live stream an hour earlier on Sundays. On my weekends, I kind of like to sleep in the morning, so this is about the right time for me, I think. Not really looking to get up at the crack of dawn to do an earlier live stream. Yeah, Lisa Loring, Cindy Williams, you're right. Heard this morning too that Melinda Dillon, who played Barry's mom in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, also passed away. Oh, you'd like to do it an hour later? Well, the other side of that is, I on days where I do live streams, I still like to do a vlog. And if I get too late, I kind of run out of time to do a vlog that day. Yeah, if I'm going to do a greenhouse, so I'm going to build it myself. And see, that's what makes things complicated is, figuring out how you can make all that work. But I bet you I could do it for a lot less than 10K. Bet you I could do it for 1,000 or 1,500. But see, with that stuff, that's what you're kind of doing. You're paying for the labor to put it together. What's in the shed? It's all kind of all my gardening stuff. My lawnmower's in there, and everything I need. All my yard tools and stuff like that are in there. Well, we're glad you made it today. I'm still fine tuning the pool cover, but it is working better this year. Having the center about a foot and a half above the edge of the pool provides a nice slope. Now, when it does rain, sometimes it does, um, fill in that area. But I could use that water siphon thing I built a couple years ago with PVC to siphon most of the water out, and that could get under there like with a broom handle and lift everything else up, and it works pretty well. It isn't perfected yet, but it's a work in progress. Yeah, I'm sure there are greenhouse kits that you can get, but I think part of the fun is designing it yourself. Make it fit exactly the space I want it to fit. No, no, I just have to top off the pool from time to time. For the most part, it's the same water that was in there when I bought the house. I mean, it's probably not the same water because I'm sure probably all that is evaporated. But for the most part, I just top it off. It needs a couple of inches every few weeks. I've never drained it completely. I don't think there's really a good way to drain it completely because the only way of getting the water out is with the pump, but the pump only can only pump water down to the level of the skimmer, and then that's the end of it. No, I think the greenhouse would be the size of the garden, which is a little larger than the um, than the shed, because the shed is probably 7 or 8 feet wide, and the garden itself it's two 4 foot by 8 foot beds, and then there's like what a 3 foot path down the middle, so it's like 8 feet by 11 feet. You're right, though. I might have to put water and electricity in it, and that's something we'll figure out at some point. That's one of many things that I gotta figure out if I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'd need to have a permit to build a greenhouse. Doesn't seem that big on TV. Yeah, well, I know it is because that was the dimension of the lumber that I put into it because it's basically each of those beds is about the size of a piece of plywood. Yeah, the TV tends to make things look a little smaller than they are. It's funny they say on TV it makes people look like they're 10 pounds heavier, but apparently it doesn't make my garden look 10 feet wider. Any thoughts on the Chinese spy balloon that was shot down? Yeah, a good president would have shot it down before it hit the West Coast. Wouldn't have let it fly all the way across the country and then shoot it down over the Atlantic Ocean. That was boneheaded. Yeah, I guess I've seen the inflatable greenhouses. I'm not sure if that's the option for me, but who knows? I'm going to consider my options. Like I said, it if I do it, it's a long ways off. Haven't seen Flash in a couple days. She's been in the garage ever since the deep freeze, but I was sort of thinking I'd put her outside again today because it's supposed to be, like I said, it's getting into the 70s during the day and probably 40s at night. So that's warm enough for her to be outside. Yeah, there's no way NORAD didn't see that thing coming in before it hit the West Coast. Well, it is technically a hibernation, but basically it's just the way her body deals with the cold. Because you gotta remember, she's a reptile, so she's cold blooded. So her body temperature is based on what the environment is. So when the temperature drops below a certain point, her body just kind of slows down and she goes to sleep. So, you saw the video a week or so ago that I posted of her munching on the grapes. That was shot a couple of weeks ago when it was in the 80s out and she was up and about. And I figured, well, the grass is all dead because it's winter. So I had to put something out there for the heat. I don't know what I'd grow in it if I built the build a greenhouse. I'm not sure what I'm going to grow this year. I'm going to kind of go to the nursery and kind of see what they have. Yeah, well, that was the thing. The first we were aware of it was people were posting video of it online. I'm sure they would have loved to have just covered it up, pretend that it never happened. Ah, it's just a weather balloon. Yep, he's still here. it does seem that everything he does is about tearing us down. Plus the fact he's so in bed with the Chinese anyway. I don't know if they ever really liked him. You gotta think that they had all those candidates running, in the primaries, and they whittled them down one by one. And you gotta just think that the DNC gave kind of a selective, oh crap, when he was the last man standing. Yeah, that would be a disaster too. Yeah, that's my buddy. I don't know. I think it would be much better than what we currently have. Yeah, that's my MIT shirt. You got patio furniture from Amazon. Will be assembling it yourself. Yeah, follow directions. Yeah, Melinda Dillon was also in Christmas Story. I knew there was something else. Yeah, she was the mom in Christmas Story. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever go to Canada, go live in Canada. Now I got it from my mom and dad. They traveled a lot in in my dad's final years, and that was one of the things that they got me. Yeah, yeah, Close Encounter. She was Barry's mom, the little kid that was abducted by aliens. Did you miss the treats? No, there haven't been any treats yet. He's just sitting there brushing up against the brush right now. That's like his favorite thing in the world. Thanks. I'm glad you liked the video, Daniel. Yeah, I think he was a good president. I think he accomplished more and did more for America than probably the last 10 presidents combined. Kind of one of those once in a generation things. You liked it when we went under the house? Yeah. Yeah, me too, Susan. Me too. I think DeSantis would be a good run too, a good person too. He's definitely done good for Florida. He might be a little bit more of a politician too, and maybe can be a little bit more diplomatic. That was, I mean, I kind of like the fact that Trump, dished it out as well as he took it, but sometimes he overdid it a little bit, and you know, DeSantis might be a little bit more diplomatic, but still, stick it to the competition the way they stick it to us. Oh, it's not just in Florida that we like DeSantis. DeSantis is a great governor. Greg Abbott is too. I mean, I don't have any issues with him either. I wouldn't go so far as to say that Trump was unpredictable. Um, he just sided with America. He loves this country. This country has been really good to him, and he felt he owed something back. I ever thought about having a pool party? I've thought about maybe inviting some friends from work for a pool party. I don't know. Maybe one of these days. It would just be a matter of just whether anybody would come or not. But he was also somebody that stood up for our allies. I mean, he was the first. Every president since I think Nixon said something about moving the Israel embassy to Jerusalem, and he actually did it. Yeah, well, DeSantis barely won the first time, and he won in a landslide last time. Yes, he was. Well, we still got to clean up the elections. There's too much shady stuff going on in elections. And Saddam Hussein got 98% of the vote too. But does anyone really think that the Iraqis really like Saddam Hussein? Yeah, I know, but that's one of the things I liked about him. He dished it out as well as he took it. Unfortunately, any Republican that runs against any Democrat is going to get smeared by the media, and they'll get the Trump treatment. The media wants us to think that they had to do what they did to Trump because he was such an evil, person that they had to do it. But the truth is, the Democrats have done the same thing to every Republican since Nixon. We're just beginning to figure out how crooked that all was. No, you're right, Roberta. I don't want to talk about politics anymore. What else we got? I've been thinking for a while we're going too much into this. Yeah, I've eaten most of the tamales. I had some of the blackberry syrup yesterday for breakfast. I've eaten about half the cheese. I tried one of the hot sauces, the one that the vendor said she keeps in her purse. Not so much into that. It's got a nice little burn to it, but it's also got kind of a sweet flavor to it. And I was looking closer at the label, and it's because it's got like jalapeno peppers and pineapple. And so I was like, wait, pineapple? I don't know. It seems to me the point of hot sauce is to be hot. So maybe should have read the label a little bit more. It's okay. It's just it kind of surprised me when I because I was expecting hot. Haven't gotten a chance to try all of them though. Homemade banana nut muffin sounds good. Yeah, we could talk movies. Actually, what I've been watching lately is a couple of older TV shows. I'm a huge fan of I think it was a Showtime series called Entourage, and I've been binge watching that lately. I've also been binge watching that '70s show. Actually, he is looking at those treats. What am I going to do for Valentine's Day? Probably the same thing I do with some every other day. Go out and find a vlog. I don't know. Is what day is Valentine's Day on? Valentine's Day is on a Tuesday, huh? Not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. So yeah, I'll probably go do a vlog. Turkey burger with melted cheese on top. That sounds good. Where's Nibble? Nibble's in her room. She makes her appearance from time to time, but not as much anymore. Sometimes though, when she hears her name, she'll come out. Nibble, you want to come out and visit? Guess not. I have one box set of Twilight Zone, but I can get all that on online now, so I don't have the whole collection. I got one box set that probably has, I don't know, 30 or 40 episodes, but I think that box set, it came with like five or six others. But I think it's also either on Paramount Plus or Netflix, and I have both of those, and so I've watched it from time to time. Definitely a Twilight Zone fan. There aren't really a whole lot of TV series that I think are worth having the entire series. Was the syrup over the top with sweetness? Not really, but it had a good flavor to it. It was one of those things that I got a chance to try at the fair, farmers market, whatever. And I said, "Oh, that is really good. I'm gonna have to get some of that." What's my favorite movie? I don't know if I really have one. I've said before that probably one of my favorites is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And that's consistently been in my like top five movies ever. Yeah, I never was a huge Gone with the Wind fan. I saw it once or twice. You got one chair done. Should you sit in? I don't know. How confident are you with your assembly skills? I mean, if it's going to be a chair or somebody's going to sit it, you probably need to be that guinea pig. Wouldn't want to bring a friend over or something like that, have them sit it and have it collapse under them. If you followed the instructions though and tightened everything down right, you should be okay. I mean, does it look like a chair? If it doesn't look like a chair, then I wouldn't sit in it. But if it looks like the picture, that is the true test. When you're putting together electronics, they got something called the smoke check, which is basically the same thing. You plug it in, you turn it on, and see if there's any smoke. If there's smoke, you did something wrong. If it collapses, you did something wrong. Also, don't sit in it if you have extra parts. I don't know. That can be confusing sometimes because sometimes they intentionally come with the extra parts. They either assume you're going to lose something, or they assume that you might have to configure it one way or another based on what you have. I know, for instance, the mounting that my flat screen TV came with had all sorts of extra parts depending on what you were connecting it to. My favorite fruit. Oh, I know that's another one like movies. I can't necessarily say because there's a bunch of things I like. I like apples. I like oranges, peaches. I was eating peaches like crazy during the summer. Grapes are always good. Yeah, that's good advice when you're putting the screws in. Don't tighten everything up until everything's in. Then you can kind of pull it all together. Hello, Tracy, and hey, Jeff's here. Hey, Jeff. What are you gonna have for lunch today, Jeff? Oh, we got 30 people in here. It's like a traffic jam. Chicken. There we go. You can't go wrong with chicken. Coconut chicken. I'm thinking about maybe doing a restaurant vlog tonight for dinner. There's a there's a I think it's a small chain. I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but it seems like a chain uh, that popped up actually right near where I used to live. There's a when I moved in, it was a restaurant in that location, but it had been out of business for some time. And a place called Slim Chickens opened up there about a year ago, and I've been kind of dying to try that out. So maybe we'll go to Slim Chickens for dinner tonight. Yeah, you're right. Tomatoes are a fruit. That's true. Doesn't have to be sweet to be a fruit. I don't watch any current TV. In fact, I don't have even have TV right now. I cut the cable about 2 years ago. Um, but I do like some TV shows from the past. That 70s show has always been one of my favorites, and I picked up the whole series on DVD a while ago, and I've been binge watching that. That's a great show. Love that show. And I like a show called Entourage. I've been watching that, but I'll usually like watch, three or four of one and then three or four of the other. And of course, I'm a Star Trek nerd, so those are all on Paramount Plus. So I watch those too. All right, Jeff's doing a cooking vlog. Good. Now I don't even have an antenna hooked up. There isn't an antenna on the roof, and no cable going up to the TV. Yeah, I don't even miss the TV. The truth is, I had cable TV when I moved into the apartment in Waco, and I brought it with me when I moved into the house. But the truth is, I think I only had it on twice in the time between when I moved into the house and when I cut the cable about what, a year and a half ago. And one of those times was just making sure it worked when I hooked it up the first time. So yeah, now it's just I wasn't watching it, so it was no point. There's no point paying for it. Yeah, you can get all that online though. You went to high school with Jeremy Piven, huh? That's cool. Jeremy Piven's cool. Yeah, that's sort of what I've got. I've got two streaming apps right now. I mean, I still have cable service, but it's just for my internet. My cable company wasn't happy to see me go, but to drop the cable TV, but they didn't complain that much because I still kept the internet. They knew if they knew if they complained too much, I could possibly just drop the cable altogether and move to someone else. But John Cusack too, huh? Wow. The only claim to fame my high school has is I went to high school with three of the members of the band The Offspring. I do my cell phone through Verizon. Cable company keeps trying to get me to shift over to them, but I don't know. Yeah, but Verizon's a little bit pricey too. And like I said, I'm happy with the internet that I get from my cable company. It's usually pretty solid. Yeah, I've never been to any of my reunions. I wasn't really happy in high school, so I had no real desire to relive that. Haven't gone to any of them. And I think they finally lost track of me too, because for a while when I moved to my house in Placentia, they somehow figured out where I lived and kept sending me invites to reunions, but they haven't figured out I moved to Waco, and they certainly don't know what my address is. So last year, 2022, would have been the 40-year anniversary or reunion, whatever, and it came and went, and I wasn't even really interested. Didn't even think about it. In fact, I just thought about it just now. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I was about 40 years. God, I'm old. Yeah, most of what I watch on TV is either movies or something I'm streaming. Not really that adventuresome in terms of watching new shows. I have to be dragged kicking and screaming. I think the last time I um, watched a new show was when I got into Cobra Kai, and that was just because a bunch of people were talking about it, and then Jordan was here once, and he says, "Yeah, you got to put on this Cobra Kai," and so we watched a few of them, and yeah, I guess it had its moments. Yeah, I think most of my viewers are about the same age. Thanks for stopping in, Jeff. Have a good lunch. Yeah, I just picked up the original Karate Kid on DVD just recently. And it was basically because I wanted to watch, watch it and understand some of the references from Cobra Kai. Because I haven't watched Karate Kid probably since it was in the theaters. I don't think I've ever had it on home video. Bye. You gonna come and visit? They all want to see you jump up here. Prove that you still can. But you're not the big fat tub of lard that we all know you are. Yeah, you're still a big fat tub of lard. Yeah, that's sort of what my demographic is too. I think 98 plus percent of my audience is 35 or older. And I think the biggest demographic is like 55 to 65. Yeah, Rhonda said that she was working today, but she said she might stop in a little bit for, during a break or something. So we may still see her. He's fluffy. Now he's fat. Nobody has 18 pounds of fluff. I don't think I ever saw any of the Karate Kid sequels. Yeah, a couple little projects I did that you'll see in upcoming days. Just simple little things that needed to be done. Yeah, I kind of prefer just to forget about high school. Just assume forget about it. Never really watched the $6 Million Man or Bionic Woman in the 70s. I hope you re-enter that one, Tracy. I was reading that. Something about the Instant Pot lid. Yeah, you're welcome. It's really easy to do. You just got to take that little O-ring off, uh, take the little black cap off the top, pull the little rubber gasket off the bottom side of the little pink pin, and it all just goes in the dishwasher. You got to do that sometimes because otherwise you get leaks. Because especially if you get anything on that O-ring, or if the little pink tip that drops down when the pressure is released, if there's not a good seal there, if you get something in there, it's not going to show you pressure very well. It's not going to hold the pressure very well. And that whole lid can go in the dishwasher because there's nothing mechanical and there's nothing electrical in that. It's all just mechanical. Yeah, it's the bite, man. You want a kitty treat? Ow. Never heard the thing about not biting the hand that feeds you. Bad form, man. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what the size of my senior class was. It was probably about 1,200. Yeah, well, you remember that time that my Instant Pot I got burned by my Instant Pot, and that was because I wasn't getting a good seal. Solve that problem just by, giving a good cleaning. All I had to do is get a nice second-degree burn on my hand. I've learned with the wild rice that you got to do more than a cup of water, and a cup of water in my Instant Pot's not going to really do it because, the inner pot is 14 inches in diameter, and so all you're going to do is end up burning the rice. You got to have a little bit of water in there. It may be that way for smaller amounts, or for smaller Instant Pots, but I found that a 10-to-1 ratio works better for me. But I love it with wild rice. Wild rice. To make it the way my uncle showed me how to do it. You have to cook it for like 36 hours, and I could do the same thing in the Instant Pot in 1 hour. Hello, VNA. How are you? Yeah, it always devolves into that VNA. No, I don't watch a whole lot of YouTube videos for Instant Pot recipes. I've got a couple of Instant Pot cookbooks, and I'll look at that. Sometimes I'll find some recipes online. No, I haven't heard of Bria tacos. Is that what you call how you pronounce it? Taking it easy today. Yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes. You're gonna come back and apologize for biting me? Guess your name wasn't just an oversight, was it? Specializes in different tacos. Huh, I like tacos, so of course I like anything Mexican food, so made with seasoned beef. Almost like barbecue pulled meat, huh? Interesting. Have made any soups lately? No. No, I haven't made any soups lately. Heck, who doesn't like tacos? Yeah, right? Preaching to the choir here. Yeah, you can't go wrong with pizza and burgers either. Hard shell taco recipe would good to see on a vlog. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess I'm more of a street taco kind of person with flour tortillas. Yeah, I can't argue with that, Gene. Yeah, Mexican food is pretty high up there on my list. I think probably number one thing though is pizza. I love pizza. Pizza and beer, yeah. Can't go wrong with that. That's like the perfect combination right there. Pizza and beer. Well, I mean, the one I sampled at that farmer's market, I mean, I mentioned on the video, I was breathing fire at the time. But yet that's how you know when it's good. It can be hard to find a great pizza. Actually, no, I didn't really ask that, how they came up with the names. No, I've never tried Taco Bell's Mexican pizza. I don't really do fast food a whole lot anymore. Don't really do restaurants a whole lot anymore. Mainly when I do it, it's because I'm doing a vlog or something. Yeah, I mean, it's very rarely I go out to eat something. It's just easier to just cook it at home, and you know what you're getting. Waiting for a recipe with a new hot sauce. I tried it a little bit on what was it I had? Oh, I guess I just had some microwave burritos the other day, and I tried one of the hot sauces on that. It was the milder of the four that I got. You remember when I got the hot sauce, the woman at the checker at the booth said that there was one that she kind of kept in her purse all the time. I tried that one. Not as into that one. It had a nice little burn to it, but there was a kind of a sweet under flavor to it. And if I was looking at the ingredients, it's like, yeah, it's like peppers and pineapple. And that just seemed really weird to me. I don't know. You like the chalupas? I've never actually had a chalupa. Yeah, well, I mean, I got a nice collection of hot sauces now. I really like the one that I tried there that was breathing fire. That was really good. That is one of the few things I'm not that into Waco about. Their Mexican restaurants tend to do Tex-Mex, and I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. Burritos. Instead of having refried beans, they'll have chili in it. It's like what? No. Yeah, pineapple's great on pizza. Hope you don't burn out all the taste buds. I think that's probably the reason I'm more tolerant of hot sauce these days than I used to be because I probably burned off all my taste buds. Yeah, I mean you can find Mexican food, but you have to kind of look for it because and a lot of restaurants that do Mexican food, also have the Tex-Mex. And so yeah, I don't know. Pineapple jalapeno margarita. I don't know. In San Antonio and it's known for its Mexican food. You're pretty close to the border in San Antonio, so that doesn't surprise me. In Mexico, they just call it food. Yeah, right. Thanks for stopping in, Connie. Good talking to you. Yeah, right back at you, Black Dot. Yeah, yeah, we call them roach coaches too. Yeah, that's reasonably close to the Mexican border. Tomaine truck. That's another way of describing it. Yeah, we used to have roach coaches in the backstage area at Disneyland, so I ate off of them quite a bit. How's the weather in Waco? It's earlier this week, from about Monday to about Thursday, about noon, we were in deep freeze warning here, and it was cold. Had a deep freeze blow through here. There was, it was raining, and so the rain would hit the ground and turn to ice. So yeah, that was fun. But today it's going to be in the low 70s, so it's a nice day out. And it was actually pretty nice out yesterday too. I actually ended up doing two vlogs yesterday. Well, that's your own fault, Yvonne. You come here, you know we're going to talk about food, and you haven't had breakfast. See, I at least eat breakfast before I do a live stream. Yeah, we had a lot of people didn't show up for work on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday because of the weather. I figured, what the heck? I only live a couple miles away. Yeah, I think we did get into the 20s, and it was. I mean, the wind chill was worse because that made it feel like it was in the teens. Do I have a backlog of vlog ideas? No. Sometimes it's a matter of, trying to, kind of can be kind of a challenge to figure out what I'm going to do. Sometimes they come pretty easy. Sometimes it's just like I don't even know what I'm going to do today, and I end up not doing one because I couldn't come up with something. I don't know. I think it's a little easier if you're Jordan because basically you have the whole country that you can look at. I'm for the most part the things I do have got to be just in the immediate area, and there's kind of only so many things that you can do in Waco. Yeah, I think it was worse in Dallas and Fort Worth, but it was still cold here. We got about an inch of rain over that period, and like I said, the second it hit the ground, it turned to ice. I'm just kind of slowly learning how to drive in snow and ice, so basically with that, just slow and steady. That's one of the nice things about living so close to work. It's I can drive at 1 or 2 miles an hour or even 10 miles an hour and get there in a reasonable amount of time. There's a lot of people I know at work who live 10, 15, 20 miles away. It's like, hey, I don't know if I'd want to do that. Yeah, we didn't lose any power here. I know some people that did though. And it seemed to be this time, what VNA was talking about, trees snapping and knocking wires down. Oh, Tracy's checking out. Thanks for stopping in, Tracy. Good as always to talk to you. Still haven't seen Rhonda pop in here yet. She was saying maybe she might stop in during a break. Yeah, that's sort of what I was doing. And, driving it real slow and also, signaling my turns really early. So if there's a car behind you, they know it's like, oh, he's going to slow down and turn, giving them plenty of time to react. Now, I haven't figured out what I'm going to plant this year. Probably there'll be a matter of going to the nursery and seeing what they have. Think I probably won't do okra again. It was fun. It was a successful crop, but I'm not into it enough to want to have as big of a crop as I got. There was way too much okra this year. I mean, I still got it in the freezer. I haven't used even half of it. Okra was the only thing that really did well. Yeah, tomatoes did really well the first year. They didn't do so well last year. All right, chair number two is completed. Have you sat in it yet? Like I said, that's the ultimate test. Yeah, tomatoes did well the first year. Jalapenos did well the first year. Okra did well the second year. And the jalapenos and the tomatoes. I got a few tomatoes right at the end, but it was a weird year weather-wise. It was really hot, not a lot of rain. I think that affected things. I don't know. I love tomatoes, so I may do tomatoes again, but I'm going to see what the nursery has. I think it was primarily the weather, because normally we get some rain, and I think it was too hot for anything, and it really with the tomatoes didn't start producing until it started cooling off a little bit. By that time, it was too short of a period between when the temperature cooled off a little bit to the point where it got too cold and everything kind of got frozen out. It'll be 3 years this summer. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years since I moved in. Yeah, I mean it's probably pretty close right now to 4 years from when I did my first vlog. Well, like I said, it's going to depend on what the nursery has. And actually, there's two different locations for this nursery, so I may try both of them and see if we'll see what they have. But I'd like to see something like broccoli too, or cauliflower. I love both broccoli and cauliflower. I think it'd be fun to grow my own. You may be right about some types of tomatoes, but I would figure the nursery would pick up on that and would primarily stock the ones that do well. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of replanting I got to do because basically the uh, the frost and the cold in the last few days has really pummeled the yard. Ever heard of Goldie's Barbecue in Fort Worth? No, haven't. There's been a few barbecue places I've had here that have been pretty good though. Hellberg's Barbecue, I think, is still my favorite barbecue place in the area. It's about 20 miles out of town, so it's a little bit of a drive, but definitely worth it. When Jordan was here last time, he said, "Yeah, I want some good barbecue." I said, "Well, we got to go to Hellberg's then." He agreed. He loved it. And the funny thing is, the guy who runs Hellberg's Barbecue transplanted himself from California. So he's a California native who came here and took over the barbecue business. Funny how stuff like that works. Because Hellberg's, I think, is considered one of the what top five or top 10 barbecue places in Texas. You can only imagine, how good it would have been in California, and the number one in the state. Because I mean, you just don't think of California when you think of barbecue. Do I go to church? No, no, not really. Would you allow some of the neighborhood kids to try the pool if asked? I guess if the parents came, I wouldn't have a problem with it. To get my tomato plants at the farmer's market? No, no, I've always gotten them at a nursery. I don't know if they actually sell like tomato plants at the farmer's market. Like I said, I've only been there once, and it was you know a week ago, and it was in the middle of the winter. So when I think of farmers markets, I kind of think of people selling their own produce. I don't know. It's possible that the okra affected the tomato plants. They were in the same bed, but they're kind of further apart. Although it's also possible because the okra has huge, huge leaves that maybe part of the reason the tomatoes didn't do very well is that they were in the shadow. But, you know, probably try tomatoes again this year and see what else is there. Like I said, cauliflower and broccoli would be good choices. I love eating both of those. You bought a beautiful tree. It's called a sapphire tree. Is that grow? Is that just a tree, or is it like grow fruit? Guessing it doesn't grow sapphires. If so, I've got this whole thing completely mixed up. That's something I've thought about doing too. Is planting some fruit trees. I know my mom would say, "Oh, you don't want to do that. You end up with too much fruit, and you'll be throwing it away. You'll be canning it all the time." And it's like, no, I'm sure I could just bring it to work and find people there to take it. Yeah, still liking the job. We got another thing I'm working on right now. Another potential promotion that might be popping up pretty quick. I'm about due for another one anyway. Coming up on 3 years in that place. Those beautiful purple flowers called showers. Huh. Interesting. What's a typical meal right now for me? I don't know. A meat, something I put on the grill, and maybe a veggie that I do in the instant pot. You have it out by your pool. Okay. It doesn't. Yeah, that's what Yvonne's saying. Does it drop flowers into the pool? That's the only thing that would be an issue, with me on something like that is I'd have to keep it away from the pool. I got enough leaves that end up in the pool as it is. I don't need to help. I'd also want to find a fruit tree that's going to hold up in to the cold that we're capable of getting here. Because with a few exceptions, the cold just basically pummeled everything in the yard.
Go and take a picture and put it on the Facebook page. Okay, yeah, if it pops up soon, I'll show it. Yeah, see, that would be the concern I'd have about any kind of fruit is how is it going to deal with the extremes here. And maybe that's one of those things you have to, have to figure out, what's going to, get to ask a nursery, how is this going to hold up? Now I haven't gotten an employee of the month plaque or my own parking place. They don't seem to do a lot of that. Watch the storm chaser in ice in Dallas, huh? Yeah, that doesn't sound like it'd be really easy to chase storms on ice. Just saying. It was really cold here though. Yeah, I wouldn't complain about that, Dot. My boss once told me that he foresees a day where I'll be his boss. So, okay, whatever. I got a lot to learn before I'll be ready to do that, but I'm happy with the progress I'm making. Yeah, there are no windows in our place. Hey, bye. You're back. Yep, here he is. He came back after biting me. That is true, Yvonne. I got a couple friends on Facebook that I still connect up with that are still at Disney, but it's funny. Disney keeps putting, I keep seeing Disney ads on my Facebook profile, and I was like, I don't even want to see that. I keep saying, no, stop sending that. Okay, Spaniel mom just sent a picture of her flowers. She said she put it on the Facebook page. So let's see if we can see it here. I don't see it there. Let's see if we can see it here. I don't want to create a story. Give me a break. Yeah, maybe she emailed it to me. Let me check that.
No, don't see it yet. That's not the right one. Let's look at all of them here. No, don't see it yet. I take a minute to. I'm not being real specific about what I do. I'm in manufacturing. Some things I got to kind of keep quiet. Not because of any of you, none of you would be a problem, but there's some weirdos out there. I don't want to have my own Jacob the carpetbagger moment. Making me regret that I ever signed up for Pandora. I needed some music to stream at work a few days ago while I was working during the maintenance interval, and I downloaded the Pandora app, and now they're sending me like daily spam emails, and they're putting stuff on my Facebook or on my phone. It's like, oh man, gosh, you're making me regret this. All right, Mark's here. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? I guess, and I only heard about this kind of secondhand, but I guess a troll went after him and they began doxing his kids, and they called his work, and I think they tried to get him fired. I don't know, maybe he actually did. So, like I said, that's why I kind of try and keep certain parts of my life quiet. Why I don't say where specifically I live in Waco or what specifically I do or any of that stuff. There's certain things I just got to keep quiet. Spaniel Mom, are you putting it on the Facebook page or are you emailing it to me? Yeah, but there's a lot of weirdos out there, unfortunately. And they've got that same person's gone after Jordan. He's come after me. He's gone come after Adam. He's just a sad, pathetic loser. Okay, Facebook. Let's see if we can see it. Okay, there we go. Now I see it. Yeah, that's pretty. Oh yeah, there it is, right next to the pool. Gotta get it in here so we can avoid the glare here too much. Yeah, that's a pretty tree. But I do like the little flowers. Those are pretty. I like purple flowers. They look great. Yeah, I do a meetup. It's just I've offered to do a couple of them and nobody's ever shown up. So I just don't think I'm maybe big enough to warrant that. But somebody wanted to come down to Waco here. I think it'd be fun to meet some of my viewers. meet around the downtown. I'll show you some of the fun things I've found over the years. There's a lot of things if people were willing to maybe walk like a mile or two, right in the downtown area, there's a whole bunch of things that are very interesting that have all happened, within like a couple mile radius. I heard there was a hundred below wind chill, I think, on Mount Washington or something, which is very, very cold. And somebody was joking that's the same temperature that it is on Mars. That is very cold, though. I mean, I think the coldest I've ever been is in 30 below, and that was enough for me. That just sucks the life right out of you. It hurts to breathe. I can't imagine 100 below. That's just too much. I'll freeze a tauntaun. Yeah, that's right. That was a Star Wars joke. And I thought this smelled bad on the inside, on the outside. What's the rest of the day look like? I think I'm gonna maybe go do a restaurant vlog today. There's a place it's been open for probably a year now that I've been meaning to try, and today is a good day to do that. I have to kind of choose simpler vlogs to do on Sundays because live stream takes up half the day, and so I can't necessarily do a really complicated project because there just isn't time. Yeah, the 30 below I experienced was in northern Minnesota. So yeah, I get it that gets really cold there. I will never go to Minnesota in the winter again. I wanted to experience it, but yeah, nope. No, thank you. I think the 30 below it wasn't even a wind chill. I think it was that cold. It was just a matter of going from the cabin to the car, and I was already frozen, and then we ended up spending the rest of the day in a bar, and that was kind of how I warmed up. It's no wonder people drink in Minnesota. Got to do what you got to do to stay warm. Oh, Black Dot's checking out. Thanks for stopping in, Dot. Great talking to you as always. Got about 18 minutes to go, so you guys don't think of something to say, you're going to have to wait till next week. No Rhonda so far. Must not be giving her any breaks today. Yeah. We're in the middle of what they call a maintenance interval right now. As you know, I mentioned on one of our recent videos that the plant shuts down, a week or two, a couple times a year, because other than that, the machines are running 24/7. And so they just really got to shut them down from time to time to do maintenance on them. And that's we're in the middle of it. But there's enough things that I can do that I go in and help in these intervals. A lot of people, their hours go to zero during this time. So it's a good thing I get the hours. They're my three favorite places to go in the Waco area. I don't know if I got three. I love going out and hiking around. So going down to Woodway Park, going to Cameron Park, those are kind of fun. And I guess third place would be just kind of like wandering around the downtown area. It's always something to see down there. But I like the fact that there's beautiful hiking trails around Waco. There wasn't really that much of that in California, at least not where I lived. There was a paved bike trail near where I lived, but I never really walked it that much. I usually would get on the bike, and it was only maybe 8 or 9 miles long. So you ride to one end, you ride to the other end, you ride back, and that was the end of it. I think Jordan and I walked Jaw along it once. He needed to go out for a little exercise, and that was where we went. There were a couple of nice parks there, though. If you remember the Jaw videos I used to post when Jordan was traveling early on, and I'd babysit Jaw, there were a couple of nice big regional parks in the area. I'd go and hike around. Jaw liked those, all sorts of opportunities to smell other dogs. Jaw is such a social little critter. City of Waco is really trying to build the area up, turn it more into a hip spot. And so there's, it's growing by leaps and bounds. So there's a lot of revitalization happening in the downtown area. It's funny, I was out yesterday doing a vlog, and I kind of found kind of the end of where the revitalization is happening. There are some areas that are just kind of abandoned and empty, but Chip and Joanna Gaines have had a huge influence on this town, because what's now the Magnolia Silos, those used to just be abandoned, kind of an eyesore. And they took them over and turned it into kind of a hip little shopping area. Yeah, I remember the dog park live streams. He went to that place right below the Hollywood sign, or sometimes he'd hike up to the Griffith Park Observatory. He did a bunch of those. That was when he was really kind of into the fitness thing too. You're missing. Oh no, you got a patio furniture problem. Get a drill. Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought it was Mount Washington. That's what I thought I heard. I assume Mount Washington is in the state of Washington and not Washington D.C. No drill. Uh-oh. Gonna have to order a drill on Amazon. That's funny that something like that would be missing a hole. I mean, I could understand, missing a screw or something like that. You can go to Home Depot and deal with that, but you can't really buy a hole at Home Depot, right? Yeah, that was one of the requirements when I got a house this time, is I wanted it to be a single story house. I had a two-story house in California, and I mean, growing up in California, the two-story house was sort of a status symbol, and so when the opportunity came, that was what I wanted. It's not like there was really any choice. Every house in the community was a two-story house, but you know, I started getting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm a little too old to be climbing the stairs all the time, so that was one of the requirements. I wanted at least three bedrooms, at least two bathrooms. I wanted a two-car attached garage, and I wanted a single story house. And so that was what I asked. You're very foo-foo, but love some power tools. Yeah, I'm not foo-foo, and I need power tools. Yeah, I agree. It wasn't that it was getting dangerous or anything like that. It was too much trouble climbing the stairs all the time. When I was young, I used to take the stairs two at a time and get to the point where uh, later on I was only taking them one at a time. And yeah, I just decided I didn't need that anymore. I'm much happier in this place. Well, the realtor said that houses in Waco at the time, usually don't stay on the market long, 7 to 10 days. I think that might have been a pressure thing to get me to make a quick decision, because it turns out that from the time when I looked at this house until I made the offer on it, the house had already been on the market for a couple weeks, and it was another 10 days between when I looked at the house and when I bought the house, and it was still available. So yeah, and like I said, with me, I think it was more of a I grew up, a two-story house was a status symbol, and so I really kind of wanted to feel like I'd made it by having a two-story house. But I was in there for 22 years, and maybe Gorilla Glue. Yeah, I don't know. Go to Home Depot and buy yourself an electric drill. They got some good battery powered. DeWalt makes good battery power drills. Um, I've had Ryobi a number of times, and they've got pretty good stuff too. So Makita makes really good battery powered drills. I mean, this house really stood out from the other ones I looked at. None of the other ones were really serious contenders, and but I really like this one, and so far I'm very happy with it. It's been a great house. Yeah, Yvonne's right. Maybe you can call a neighbor. It's got to be somebody who's got a drill. I like the neighbor, but not his wife, huh? Yeah, that sometimes happens. Covered with some muffins, huh? Hey, you know what? You gotta compensate him for letting you use the drill. You're not someone to ask for help yourself. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Yeah, I've used basically some of just about everything. I haven't tried all of the hot sauces yet, but I've had some of that. I had some of the blackberry syrup. I've eaten most of the tamales. Um, I've eaten about half the cheese. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. The cheese is just one of those things that I just like cutting cheese up in chunks and eating it. It's a good snack when I'm watching TV. I always buy just blocks of cheddar cheese and snack on that while I'm watching TV. It's great. Oh, yeah, I know cheese is fattening, but it's so darn tasty. I don't really during work days I don't eat dinner, so I don't really need to worry about that. And usually when I do prepare something like with a cooking vlog or something like that, for the most part, it ends up being eaten pretty quickly. I'll eat it for 3, 4, 5 days in a row until I'm done with it. Sometimes I do put it in the freezer, especially like when I make soups and stuff like that. I mean, in terms of going out on the lake, no, I've never been out on the lake, but I've been to the lake a few times, basically just for the vlogging. But Woodway Park is right on the lake, and so that's kind of fun to kind of walk some of the trails there along the lake. It's a beautiful lake. And of course, I've been to the dam a few times, and then Cameron Park, of course, is right on the Brazos, and so that's a beautiful place to be. And of course, we got the river walk right on on the Brazos. So that's kind of fun too, walk right along the river. And that goes right into Cameron Park, which is nice. I don't know. I actually haven't been down to the lake to see what the water levels are. Maybe I should do that. I keep waiting for him to open up the Waco suspension bridge. That's got to be open up anytime now. I was down there, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago and stopped by, and they were pouring the concrete going up to the bridge. So it seems to me that would be like one of the last things that they do, because once you get all the moving, all the equipment in there, out of there, then you can put the concrete in there. So it sounds like it's got to be pretty close. And the project was supposed to be completed in 2022. So, well, really, Mount Washington's in New Hampshire. Okay, I didn't know that, but I guess that sort of makes sense. No, it was originally. I mean, I've talked about the history of it before. It was originally designed for bringing cattle across the river. It was one of the first. It was, I think, literally the first bridge uh, across the Brazos, and so it was used for that. And then, like in the 20s and 30s, I think they had vehicle traffic going across it. And in fact, at one point, they determined that it wasn't wide enough for two-way traffic going across it, so they built a second bridge uh, going one way, and then the Waco suspension bridge went the other way. And that second bridge was eventually decommissioned, and basically just the pillars are out in the lake or out in the river now. And the suspension bridge itself is just for pedestrian traffic now. But there have been cars on it, and there have been a lot of cows on it. But I like having it here, and I miss walking on it because it's been closed for like 2 years now. So I can't wait for them to open that up again. I'm hoping they have some sort of a rededication ceremony because I'd actually like to go and cover that if they do it, but they'll probably do it on a Saturday and I'll probably miss it. I've been looking. There isn't actually anything that I could find online that talks about the schedule. The only thing that there is there is there's like a big sign out in front, but it's the same sign that's been there since they closed it down 2 years ago for the retrofit and for the overhaul, and it still says completed in late 2022. So obviously they're behind schedule a little bit, but there doesn't seem to be anything online. I've looked, and I was down there just a couple days ago, and it's still closed up. So I don't know. They got to be getting pretty close to opening it. Like I said, I want to walk on it again. It's a cool bridge. Anyway, I think I've done my 2 hours, so we're gonna pull the plug on this one. I'm gonna maybe go do a restaurant vlog today. Haven't done one of those for a while, so thanks everyone for watching. I had a good time today. I'll see you next week. Good night.